April 4th, 1989. The North Atlantic seethes with silent tension. As NATO supply lines stretch across open waters, an unseen threat stirs beneath the waves. At the heart of this vital convoy is USS Chicago, a Los Angeles-class submarine on its first major mission. Cargo ships carrying essential supplies head towards Europe, even as reports of Soviet submarines lurking below turn this crossing into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. This is Operation Shadow Guardian, a desperate effort to shield the lifeblood of NATO from a relentless, unseen adversary. The ocean hides friend and foe alike, and any misstep could prove catastrophic. Stealth, vigilance, and swift action will be the submarine's greatest assets. The crew of the Chicago stands as the final barrier between safe passage and disaster. All eyes turn to the silent vigil unfolding beneath the Atlantic, as the stage is set for a submerged confrontation that may define the course of an entire conflict. Hey there, and welcome back to Sea Power. Today, USS Chicago sets sail on her first campaign mission. I'm saying campaign mission because this is a sort of mini campaign that I'm currently working on. Starring the show, USS Chicago. Chicago is a Los Angeles Flight 2. This gives her the upgraded Mark 48 Mod 6, gives her a couple of upgraded harpoons out to 80 miles. She's also able to launch a MOS, a Mobile Underwater Submarine Simulator, and we have, of course, a couple of Tomahawks. Today we're out on patrol, because this convoy right here has to go through. And this convoy is being guarded by destroyers, by frigates Fitch and Clark. These are both Oliver Hazard Perrys, and they both come equipped with their own helicopters. They are SH-2F 1986 variant, and I'm going to launch both to try and give the Chicago over there as much assistance as I possibly can. The opponents are somewhat random. I'm saying somewhat random because I placed them down, but that was about 2 to 3 weeks ago when I set up this mission. And they are at a random amount of spawn. So it's not a given that there is 3, 5, 8 submarines. It's going to be random. So, let's prepare for operations. So I want to have the towed array out. We are currently at a depth of 375 with the thermal layer at 357. So we are below the layer. I'm going to head northeast to also allow the towed array to join the action. And let's wait for the helicopters to take off and join the fight. Because we need to have this convoy go through here. And of course, the Chicago is going to have to clear the area first. Fitch has picked up a new ESM contact over to the northeast. This is an EM contact that seems to be flying directly towards the convoy. It's currently not sure what we are looking at exactly. So I'm going to have to take some time to actually identify this contact. Considering that it's using its own radar is pretty good. And we can see it's at an altitude of 30,000 feet coming at us at speed 252. There we go, we have it classified as Soviet. Since I'm running NTU with this version of the game, that means that these birds are going to have some more difficulty trying to evade an Oliver Hazard Perry. Because what I have over here is a range of 40 miles on the Standard Missile 1 medium range Block 6B. That is decent range, especially for this type of ship. So we need to wait a little bit until they get into range. Now, of course, having created the scenario, I know what this is. But I won't spoil it just yet. Let's just say it can make things a little bit more difficult. As for my helicopters, they are able to make it over to Chicago, but only just. This is intentional. It is Chicago's mission to secure this convoy. It's Chicago's mission to secure this area. And the helicopters will eventually become more useful as the convoy closes in. But that also puts your convoy at greater risk. So step carefully if you're going to play this mission. A little later, the Sea Sprites have brought over some sonobuoys, and thanks to these sonobuoys being the more advanced AN SSQ-53 Bravo, they actually have a bit more range and more longevity. This is a sort of external sensor field for the Chicago, lacking a better term, and it has already yielded some results. There's a submarine coming in at 16 knots. I wonder where they're going in such a hurry. Let me slow myself down. Oh, we got 2 of them actually. Another passive contact just showed up. 7005. As for that aircraft, I lost it. So we're going to try and find it again. There you are. Ah, he's... Yeah, he's just outside of my area. He's a spotter. And that's a problem. Because if any of these submarines appear to be armed with cruise missiles, or longer range anti-ship missiles, they will ruin my day pretty horrendously, from afar. And that means I need to get rid of this guy, but I can't exactly do that because I don't have the range. Not by a long shot. I need a lot more range if I want to go after that guy. As for killing these submarines, well, the good news is I know where it is. The bad news is most of my helicopters have used up all their fuel just trying to get here. So they've dropped the sonar buoys that they can. Maybe I can throw out one more. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the helicopters are going to have to, well, all of the helicopters in fact, are going to have to go back and just recover and get more fuel. So for the time being, it is going to be Chicago to try and save the world. Target is 30 miles out, coming in at 20 knots. It's an Alpha, a Victor 1 or a Victor 2. And we are getting it on the passive sensor from the Chicago itself. This guy over in the north is supposedly also doing 20 knots. Below the layer, 730. So he is fairly deep. I want you to go home. Go bring some fuel. Okay, so we got two of them. I can launch a torpedo at him. The AdCaps can do that at 28 miles, but if he turns around and runs, there's not a whole lot that I currently have to work with. I don't have enough fuel to continue the engagement then. So what I'm thinking of doing is just continuing on my current course. Sort of trying to get into the middle of these submarines, as dangerous as that sounds, and try and prepare an attack on at least the southern contact first, and wait for the northern contact to be developed a little more, so we can figure out what it is, what we're dealing with, and how much of a threat it's going to be. As for you, I want you to deploy the towed sonar and the towed decoy. We got... oh, there's... there's a third. They are eagerly awaiting the arrival of this convoy. Do we know what this is? No, we do not. Apparently we had it on the Chicago's SSN, or the Chicago sonar. This guy's completely vanished, and he is still coming in at 20 knots. He's now at 28 miles, so officially he's in range, but the same problem still persists. Let's say I want to have a range of, oh, I don't know, 20 miles or so, maybe a little less, like 18 miles. And then I have a bit more fuel on the torpedo in order to still catch a target if it decides to run away. AdCaps are very fast. They're doing 65 knots, which makes them substantially faster than the standard Mark 48, the standard torpedo. And this is going to come in very handy when, for example, a Victor 1 starts running away at 32 knots. I will be much easier at chasing him down. This guy has set 65s, so that is the anti-submarine torpedo at 8 miles. They have the 5365K at 10 miles. And they have the MG44 anti-submarine Korund. This is a submarine simulator, much like my Moss. It's designed to be a decoy. So I need to be aware of that. Here's one of my helos flying home. Yeah, this guy's a nuisance. Some of these submarines can be armed with torpedoes strapped to cruise missiles. So it is possible that if they detected Chicago, I'm going to have missiles coming at me with torpedoes attached to them, from ranges at which I am unable to fight back. So it's possible that if I'm engaging the guy over here down to the south, this Victor, he is going to tell his friends, and for example this guy over here could be a shooter, and he could drop a torpedo from all the way over there, right, yeah, it's an Oscar 1, 2, or 0? He could drop a torpedo right on top of my head if he wants to. It's going to be torpedo soup if this persists. Chicago is going to get very busy. Very busy indeed. I'm going to slow my convoy down because I don't want the convoy to run into trouble head first. Maybe I still need to change the mission a bit, so you're not allowed to do that as a player. Because if I do this, and I mean I could turn the whole convoy around and have it sail back to the US, but the deal is, of course, you need to push this convoy right through. So maybe I need to still add like a trigger over there, like you need to have your convoy over there by X amount of time or you lose the mission. So you're not allowed to slow the convoy down. And this puts a bit more pressure on you as the player in order to get everything done in time. You might need to make some decisions slightly hastily that you normally wouldn't take or wouldn't want to take. Speaking of, I'm going to go do a head 2/3. Oh, we briefly had him again. Need to push out that, let's say, launch boundary a bit more. Hello. Dormant again. Chicago has him. Don't know what that is. Confidence is still way too low. What I can do with Chicago is launch one of my Mosses, so one of my submarine simulators, but they really only have a range of 8 miles. So that's not exactly great. It means that it's, at this point, not going to be useful. Because I would love it to use it to attract other torpedoes, or make them think that there's a submarine out there and chase that, but like I could launch that out to 8 miles, so that would be around there. That would probably be a waste of a good weapon. Well, good decoy, that is. This guy is now 20 miles out. He's coming at me at 5 knots. If I launch a torpedo, he's going to hear the transient. He'll know. He is above the layer, though. How do we have you? On the sonar buoy. Right. This is where some of you might get a little annoyed. I've seen it happen. Especially the more hardcore people are going to go, hold on, how is a submarine able to detect things from a sonar buoy? These things would never communicate with a submarine. No, they wouldn't, but this is a game, so get over it. Or stop watching the video. Entirely up to you. Now, at this point, the guy is turning around, so I'm going to send him a torpedo. Or I think he's clearing his baffles right about now. He's coming around. He's heading east. Course 104. Victors do not have a towed array. They got a hull-mounted set array, if you will, right there on the nose. So that means they're not able to hear a torpedo behind them. But, much like myself, I have sort of external sensor platforms, the sonar buoys. If a submarine over there hears the torpedo launch, this guy is going to be aware that he's being targeted. So that's a bit of a problem. He's very shallow. He's 40 feet up? Are you going to periscope depth? Oh, he's going back down again. 9 knots, 10 knots. Oh, he's doing a sprint leg. Look at him go. 20 knots. Definitely sprinting. Okay. I'm going to send my torpedo here.
Roger that.
This point here is to send the torpedo away from the submarine at a course so that if I get countershot, if I get a snapshot sent back in the launch direction, or at least let's say the detection direction of the torpedo, I am not going to be at risk. And by sending it here, I'll be able to send it either southeast towards the Victor or northwest towards that other contact. So let's do that again. Send another torpedo out, because we still have at least one more submarine out there. Or rather, at least 2 that we still need to work on detecting. My helos have returned. Or so I thought. Anybody seen a helicopter? Oh, this is new. Rearming and refueling now takes time. That's why they're not available. That's new. I didn't know that was changed. Okay, so this means that you cannot instantly launch another helicopter the moment that it came back aboard. An interesting change. I do welcome it. I think it's a good addition. Let's slow you down to head 1/3. And now I instantly detect the other guys. Unfortunately, they're too far away. They're 28. This guy could get into range. Could. Maybe. If he persists on running into range at 20 knots, he's definitely going to get met by a Mark 48. Because I can still split these. And then if they have, let's say, if I have a torpedo going from here to there, and if I have a torpedo going from here to there, they're going to sort of backtrace that and go, hold on, there's a submarine out there. No, there is not. Chicago is a bit farther away, so that's why I'm sort of doglegging these torpedoes on a course where I do not expect them to go. Torpedo is now about 5 miles away. This Victor is still on the sprint leg. Let's use that. Be wary when you're using a torpedo to click behind the target. Right-click behind the target. Do not click on the target, or you will not be able to control the torpedo anymore. This is very important. Let's head east a bit more, because if he now shoots back, as I'm maneuvering, let's say, with the torpedo there, I'd rather have the torpedo go here east and then due south, so that if he shoots back, he's going to basically shoot his friend. I think that's a better use of his torpedoes than shoot me. Is he still running? He's still running at 20 knots. Range, 8 miles. 7. Unfortunately, I lost those guys over there. Wait, what are you? You're a 4th? Huh. Okay. I guess the game got a little unfriendly with spawn chances and decided that 4 submarines is no big deal for 1 Los Angeles. I lost him. That's unfortunate. Now I'm going to right-click this guy. So now the torpedo is, let's say, unable for me to be controlled. But he is going to be locked onto the target. And that means this Victor is going to have to run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run. And he's definitely running at 32 knots. Depth 300 feet. Mark 48 pursuing at 65 knots. Go get him. Go get him. As for the torpedo over here, this is not the end of the torpedo range, because we still have more range. So I'm going to sort of send this thing into the path of where the other submarine was coming southwest, so that maybe we'll catch the guy, off guard, so to speak. He will drop a noisemaker, and we will be able to detect him. As for this torpedo, we're doing 1.6 miles. He's now searching. Oh, he's going after the noisemaker. That is not your target, sir. There you go. New passive contact. Oh, you're over there. This is the other guy. Doing 18 knots, heading due west. Yeah, we're going to send it. We're going to send it here. This Mark 48 is going to not catch the torpedo. Sorry, not going to catch the sub. Because it's kind of circling, looking for the noisemaker here. And supposedly, it is unable to detect. Oh, we have a set 65. Here's the counter launch. So, what happened here? This Victor decided that there was a torpedo coming from this direction, which there was. So this is probably where the submarine was. Not true. Not true. That is not where the submarine was. But that's exactly what I wanted him to think. Oh, hold on. The Mark 48 has wizened to the tricks of the Victor and is once again on a pursuit course. The problem is I've already used a lot of fuel. I'm not sure how much this thing can still travel. How are the helos? You guys ready again? Yes. Send them. Both. I do need those. We're now about 65 miles away. 44 to the closest sonobuoy. So we should be able to get out there and start dropping some air-launched torpedoes to Mark 48s. Okay, catch it. 2 miles out. See, these torpedoes are going to search, and they'll not find anything out there. That's exactly what I wanted. So they're 8 miles out. My torpedo is... Oh, new passive. 7018. Oh, that's a third torpedo. Wow, dude, you send a whole spread? Maybe half the spread. Go on. Helo available. Helo available. Off you go. Places to be. Submarines to see. See, now I can patrol fairly far. Let's start dropping sonobuoys here. As for that second helo, preparing for takeoff. Excellent. Torpedo, 0.7 miles away. Torpedo's gone active. Is that a submarine or a noisemaker up in the distance? What you got there? I think that could be a noisemaker. Right there. This is too big for a noisemaker. The Mark 48 is ignoring the noisemaker and pursuing the submarine. I would very much appreciate it if I could just get one of these guys off the board, because they still have plenty of them. We still have 3 more unidentified submarines out there. If this Victor's lucky, this torpedo is going to run out of fuel any second now. Yeah, I think we have him. At the very least, we'll knock out his propulsion. Ideally, we'll immediately sink the whole submarine. There's a noisemaker. Too late. I was trying to change course. Go deep. Negative. Gotcha. Okay, so if you could kindly start flooding, that would be wonderful. As for over here, this Mark 48 is getting quite close to this submarine. This submarine's changing course northwest, trying to distance itself from the torpedo. I'm going to maintain control of the torpedo for as long as possible. I'm going to have this other torpedo also start to head directly after the target. I'm 6 miles away from Chicago, so if they shoot back, it's not likely that they'll find my submarine. And of course, we're going to make more trouble for the submarine here by sending over the helicopters. Second sea spray, ready to go. Off you go. I think if we start dropping a sonobuoy here, we might also get another detection on this track here. Range 0.9 miles. There he is. Running at best speed. Yeah, we got the Victor one. He's done for. Nice work. New passive contact is 7024. That's a noisemaker. Because I'm still in control... No, I'm not in control of the torpedo anymore. Apparently he's now locked on. And that means he's going to have to fend for himself. Which I think he can. He shouldn't have too much difficulty doing that. Do I also want to launch the helos from this one? No, not yet. I'd rather keep the helos from the Clark on standby. So that we can use those later when the helos from the Aubrey over there are going to come home. Aubrey Fitch. Okay, how are we doing? Submarine, 0.4 miles. 7022, classified hostile submarine. What you got there? You're a big one, aren't you? Are you the Oscar? Yes. That's an Oscar-class submarine. Running away at best speed. And unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to be enough. We hit him. Propulsion's down. He's changing depth. No, it looks like he's changing depth, but he's... Now he's coming up. Okay, these Oscars are so big that they probably warrant another torpedo. So we have to send that thing out. Try and catch it. There's your noisemaker. Where's your torpedo? Sorry, where's your submarine? There. I don't believe one Mark 48 is going to immediately destroy a submarine of the Oscar class. They're too big. Too well defended. Now, as you can see, they're still... Oh, he's... No. He did. Well done. Okay, 2 torpedoes, 2 kills. 1 left to start searching for more. There's something making very little noise out there. The Chicago has it, but barely. 8 decibels. We don't know what this is. The Sonobuoy has it. The Sonobuoy is at about 10-mile range. Which means Chicago is in weapons range. I can already shoot this contact. The problem is, he's only doing 3 knots, so that's a diesel boat. And with that, he might very well hear me. So there's a problem. He's going to shoot right back at me. So I'm going to open up the unit reference card. I'm going to have a look at what this is, or can be. Because I'm thinking it's a Kilo, or a Foxtrot, or a Romeo, or a Tango. So the capacities for these, anti-submarine wise, are the Set-65, 8 miles, out of range. He can't hit me. Romeo, same, he can't hit me. He can't hit me. The Kilo, though... Test 71, that's a 13.5-mile torpedo. Anti-submarine. So, based on what this could be, I'd say there's a 75% chance it cannot actually attack me at this range. But if I guess wrong, and it actually is one of the others, it is possible that this thing can end me. It's at 32 feet. It's very shallow. I'm going to have a Sea Sprite try and go after it. The problem is, the Sea Sprites are once again running into fuel issues. And you're still rearming for the next 4 minutes. So, I'm not even sure if I can drop on this guy. Once I get there, like, how much range is that? Because basically that's my torpedo range against him with an airdrop Mark 46. And this helicopter is, well, just about to go bingo. We don't have the fuel. What I can do is drop a Sonobuoy next to him and figure out what he is. Let's just drop them as we're moving in. Because this will also give Chicago a bit more assistance. Wait, Romeo. So you are not a threat. You're snorkeling? Okay. Did not expect that. At all. Okay, so this should be a fairly straightforward kill. Send it. Weapon is away. I'm going to send the weapon due east. And then approach from the south. So that if he shoots back with a snapshot, he won't really know where to shoot.
Engaging track 70. Roger.
Yeah, out of fuel. Damn it. Okay. Well, so far the Mark 48s have not disappointed. So this snorkeling Romeo over here, sneaky as he is, he probably doesn't stand too much of a chance against the Mark 48. Especially because the Mark 48 is going to be outrunning him. These things can't run very fast. They can do a top speed of 15 knots. That's their trade-off from being extraordinarily quiet. So the good news is, he's dead. The bad news is, I'm not sure how many noisemakers this guy can shit out, and with that, make my detection on him more difficult. Make my kill more difficult. Ideally, this is going to be another textbook operation against the Romeo. No longer controlling the torpedo. Keep in mind, torpedo is coming in at 650 feet. He doesn't know that the torpedo is there. Now he knows. Now he's flooring it. The snorkel mast comes in. He shoots back along the line of bearing. So what's going to happen now is the torpedoes from him are going to go there. So Chicago's instantly going to turn north. I don't want to end up anywhere near that. Even though if I maintain my current course, it's going to be 5... Yeah, if I head north, it's going to be probably 5 miles and change. There's 2 torpedoes. He's doing 7 knots, depth 32 feet. 3 torpedoes. Alright, son. Unfortunately for you, I don't think that's going to quite cut it. Because you are going to have a problem. A Mark 48 kind of problem. He might be trying to run, but that torpedo does not give any quarter. Noisemaker. think that's an outbound torpedo. Where's my Mark 48 at? Oh, it's out there. Range? 0.3 miles. There you are. You can dive, but you can't run. Noisemaker. Torpedo just ignores it. Boom. Nice work. Nice work. That Romeo is going to have at least some propulsion issues. And given how well his compatriots fared, might be the end of him. He might be dead. He does appear to be sinking / changing his depth. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at yet. Let's send up another helicopter, provided they're available. Yes, they are. I'm going to send one. He's at 280 feet. Unfortunately, in the unit reference, it doesn't say what their crush depth is, so I don't know exactly how far this thing can dive before it will probably try and do an emergency surface. There you go. All hostile submarines neutralized. Congratulations, Captain. Our sensors confirm no further submarines presence in the area. The convoy is now secure. Continue to maintain a defensive posture until relieved or given new orders. Well done. And with that, Chicago's first mission is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this first mission. Was it too easy? Perhaps. But some of those submarines, well, that can give you a bit of a headache. Unfortunately for them, Chicago is far more advanced, both in weaponry and in detection. And that, in tandem with helicopters, gave me the edge. Thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for more.